North Carolina?
Virginia.
Virginia. North Carolina over here. Morning. So we had a number of groups arrive yesterday. See, the trucks are stirring up the ground here, coming in for the construction work. Little by little, each step going ahead. These people were singing last night. Good morning. Are you guys singing again? You just sang the doxology, the praise to the Lord for the new day. They were really filling the whole lobby yesterday evening with music. Amazing. Wow, the trucks really have done a lot of work here. If I was only out a couple of minutes earlier, we could have caught them singing. Maybe we'll catch them tomorrow, God willing. So the reading continued to educate us about the various aspects, the various flowers of this Lenten season. The three of the points. Wow, this phone got off balance. I don't know if I can even fix it. I hate it when it's off balance. Is this worse or better? Hey, this is better. It's a risky thing to try to fix it because then it just falls off. And get it back on without you having to do a dance and a somersault is a challenge. Good morning. So one of the flowers of the season that are mentioned is fasting. Another one is repentance, God's mercy. Another one is the real kind of fasting, which is very brutally pointed and needed in the first reading from, if I remember right, from Isaiah. Let me just open up the text here for you. So we're in chapter 58 of Isaiah. And it's saying, cry out full-throated and unsparingly, lift up your voice like a trumpet blast. Tell my people their wickedness. So sometimes maybe we can plod along and not realize the wrongness, the evil, the injustice of our ways. Cry out unsparingly. Like a trumpet blast. So there's an interesting phenomenon that we can seek God and yet be completely counter to God's desires. And we think we cover our situation by doing certain practices, but avoiding the essential. It's like somebody just smiling when they should be asking for an apology or offering an apology, an honest, serious, humble apology. Just give a little smile like nothing ever happened. That there's a serious imbalance. And here the imbalance is about justice. And the language is very, very sharp, like a two-edged sword piercing in to the heart. Is this the fasting, I wish that you keep your head low like a reed and lie in sackcloth and ashes. We don't have any of these flowering reeds. Yeah, there are a couple over there. When they're very heavy, they bend down. Keep your head low like a reed. Look sad. Look downcast because the fasting is costing you something in terms of you're hungry or whatever. You carry out your own pursuits. You drive all your labours. Your fast ends in quarrelling and fighting. Striking with wicked claw. This is the kind of fasting I want, to release those bound unjustly, untying the thongs of the yoke, setting free the oppressed, breaking every yoke. Sometimes we lean very hard on others, we demand a lot, maybe even shout, harshness. Sharing your bread with the hungry. And that's why then the almsgiving is essential, the kindness to others, the helpfulness to others, the patience with others. That's all self-giving to others. This is all an essential part of fasting. Fasting is not just denial of the body, certain pleasures, certain basics. It's about healing the relationships with those in our family. And that line, maybe some of you remember, I find it so strong. Not turning your back on your own. Not turning your back on your own. Withdrawing from family. Withdrawing from relationships that have been difficulty. Maybe there are some moments when somebody's very angry. We need to keep a little distance so that the anger doesn't spill over in more intense expressions that damage the relationship further. So we need to give a little distance until the temper heals, and that's prudence. And to do that little bit is very good, that little moment of distance, that give time for a healing, but not to withdraw. That person should be very dear in my heart. I should be praying for that person. I should be providing a little service, opening up a pathway of light, a pathway of welcome for that person to enter into my presence. A gentle availability, that it should be evident that I'm, without being boisterously so, but gently available, gently ready for reconciliation. Not to turn our back on our own when they're in need. And they could be in need materially, or they could be in need emotionally. They could be in need spiritually, and they're not ready to take the spiritual menu that I might like to give them. But that doesn't mean I turn my back on them. Not to turn your back on your own. This is one of the hardest things probably. And we have that line in the prologue of John's Gospel when it says he came to his own and his own did not receive him. Not to be received by your own is very hard. To be ignored by your own, to be despised by your own, to be dismissed by your own, very hard, very difficult, very painful. that hurt can last. It's important, if we have experienced that hurt, to be able to forgive, to be able to understand, and to be able to help people then to rediscover that beautiful bondedness of belonging to each other, which at the final analysis really is every human being. Every human being. Because I belong to every human being, because every human being belongs to me, because we are all in the image and likeness of God. Infinitely loved by Him, and He's hurt whenever any one of us is hurt. He feels the rejection. And so we want to welcome and give consolation to the Lord that we embrace every one of His children and don't shun anyone. Don't sting like a nettle. Not to sting the others like a nettle. As children we were scared of the nettle stings in the farm. And then you get used to them. Some people used to even treat them like a medical treatment. To take out all the bad, that's what they said. Not turning your back on your own, then your light shall break forth like the dawn. And your wound shall quickly be healed, the deep wound of our heart. The path to healing is to accept our own. Our societies need healing. Our families need healing. Clothe the naked when you see them. Some people's reputation is exposed to the four winds. To be able to rebuild reputation of people, to be able to rebuild their dignity, to clothe the naked, to shelter the oppressed, the homeless. Some people feel homeless. They might have a beautiful home, but they're very lonely. They need a home. I love this text of Isaiah. I think it touches all of our hearts, our conscience. And then if we have made mistakes and we have hurt and we have alienated and we have neglected, let's read the psalm. A heart contrite and humbled, O God, you will not spurn. Have mercy on me, O Lord, O God, in your goodness and the greatness of your compassion wipe out my offense. This is the famous Psalm of David, Psalm 51. Thoroughly wash me from my guilt and of my sin cleanse me. The gospel passage reminds us Christians that we now are in a time of fasting. It also has very strong theological import, but we won't go there right now. We'll stay with the fasting theme. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators, in this very nice spring morning here.